Bai instantly yells at Xiaoxi to put some actual clothes on.
She's just chilling, saying it's way too hot for clothes, and asks why you didn't just turn on the air conditioning.
He lectures her about boundaries, but she jokingly asks if he secretly has feelings for her. Annoyed, he tells her that has absolutely nothing to do with it and kicks her back to her room. No way, she just huffs and finally agrees.
Honestly, this girl has zero boundaries around him, and it's already been a whole month since they started living together.
Basically, their parents went on a massive trip abroad and left Xiaoxi in Bai's care. Since she just finished her exams, they trusted him to look after her, and he politely accepted without thinking it through. Now he's majorly regretting his life choices as she comes out dressed, asking what they're eating. She claims she can't cook and has zero appetite without him anyway. He tells her to stop making excuses and just order delivery, but she's completely broke. Wait, her dad literally gave her thousands in allowance, but she admits she spent it all on gacha games. Talk about a major plot twist. Apparently, all her favorite limited characters got a rerun, and she just couldn't resist wailing hard. He jokes that she is lucky her parents are rich, otherwise she'd be completely ruined. He decides to cook since delivery is unhealthy, but she smugly calls him out for being broke too. Classic Bai, he tells her to keep some thoughts to herself. Then she asks if he is free tomorrow for the weekend. Since he is off, she begs him to tag along to her high school reunion. He agrees that she should definitely relax and celebrate now that her major exams are over. But only if he doesn't have to pay, which she promises is covered by their loaded class rep.
He asks if she's already applied to her dream university.
She's set on a top school in the capital, and her grades are easily good enough. Even though it's far, she's confident she can handle it, so he lets her make the call. Later, she calls her mom to share the news so they can update his parents too. But the next morning, Bai wakes up and completely loses it. She is casually sitting there, claiming his room has much better lighting for reading. But wait, why is she literally lying on his bed? That's insane. She brings up childhood stories, making him remind her she only got pantsed because she wet herself. Eventually they head out, though he complains about wasting his perfect weekend on a shopping trip. She wants to grab a suitcase early so she doesn't have to rush later. He thinks it is too early, but agrees to pay for whatever she picks. Shocking, right? She immediately heads straight for a high-end designer brand. He quickly stops her, arguing that spending thousands on a suitcase is a total scam when a cheap one works fine. She calls him incredibly stingy and wonders how he'll ever get a girlfriend. He admits his dream is to find a rich girl who pays for everything, earning him a massive eye roll. Since dating's too much trouble anyway, they settle on one, and she asks if he wants one too. No shot. He laughs it off, saying a homebody like him has zero use for a suitcase. She mysteriously hints he'll need one soon, before complaining about the brutal summer heat. She teases that people who can't handle heat are physically weak, which he instantly denies. He argues it is purely genetics, but she laughs, teasing him for getting so defensive. He insists he's in peak health, but she counters that he has no way to prove it anyway. Defeated, he changes the subject to her reunion, realizing he might feel totally out of place. An older guy hanging out with high school kids feels weird, so he tries to back out, but she refuses. She insists he must go because there's a highly suspicious guy in her class. Gross. Apparently this creep stalks her and even pockets her used tissues from the floor. She is begging him to go because if he doesn't, some creep might try to make a move on her. Talk about a total turnoff, so Baizi finally agrees to tag along and act as her designated driver. Is she really that hyped for a high school reunion? Absolutely, so he tells her to just have fun and let her big brother handle the rest. They arrive and head straight to room 405 where the rest of the crew is waiting. He asks if she gave them a heads up about bringing her brother, and she nods. Good, because keeping him close makes it way harder for sketchy dudes at the karaoke bar to hit on her. He recalls a wild night when a drunk girl at a club literally tried to rip his pants off. She jokes that he should be happy to lose his virginity, but he claims he has actual standards. He is definitely not that desperate. The party is in full swing with music blasting as they finally step inside the lively room. Everyone is singing and drinking, totally absorbed in the high energy of the class reunion. Her friend welcomes them, surprised she actually showed up, before immediately noticing how handsome her brother is. Xiaoxi introduces him as her brother Baitzi to her friend Liu Lei, while Baitzi acts all humble and old. He jokingly hopes these young kids do not mind hanging out with an old guy like him. The friend laughs it off, saying he looks super young, which instantly makes Xiaoxi low-key jealous of the nickname. Liu Lei tells Xiaoxi to sit down and relax for a bit. When Liu Lei tries to offer Baizi a drink, Xiaoxi quickly blocks it, saying he has to drive. Baizi raises a glass of juice instead, but then Liu Lei casually asks what kind of car he drives. Baizi answers that it is just a cheap $10,000 ride, prompting Liu Lei to start acting all high and mighty. He claims a real driving experience requires a luxury ride, which prompts the girl to ask what he drives. He acts humble, bragging about his modest BMW 5 Series, hoping to totally blow everyone away with his flex. Honestly, this guy is trying so hard to flex on our main character to impress Xiaoxi, but it is just cringe. Another girl asks if Baizi is single, and Xiaoxi immediately shuts her down, saying he is completely taken. She even snaps at her friend Liu Lei, telling him he is strictly forbidden from using Baizi as a nickname. Liu Lei thinks she is overreacting, so Xiaoxi gets annoyed and storms off toward the restroom. Baizi tries to point out she is walking the wrong way, but she snaps at him to back off. She wants to go home alone, but Baizi reasons that since these are her classmates, he has no reason to stay. She retorts that he can talk to Liu Lei instead, but Baizi explains he was just trying to be polite to her friends. Xiaoxi pouts and complains that they are only high school classmates who will probably never see each other again anyway. He realizes she has a point and admits he was in the wrong, which she immediately agrees with. He quickly apologizes, begging her to calm down. He promises that only she can call him by that special nickname, and she finally decides to let him off the hook. Her punishment? He has to treat her to late-night barbecue, ignoring his warnings about acne and gaining weight. Now they are back home, and the cozy, playful vibe between them is stronger than ever. Seriously, these two. When she teases him about their vibe, he tells her to stop talking nonsense or he will snitch to her parents. She complains that he is still a total snitch. Xiaoxi claims she is way more mature anyway, so Baizi just laughs and heads off to take a shower. Left alone, she decides to get petty revenge by making him a digital pet dog. Giggling, she focuses on her screen to set up the trap. The girl mutters directly to the screen, telling her digital pet to behave. Suddenly, Baizi walks out of the bathroom looking for body wash, completely catching her off guard. She flushes red, yelling at him to knock because of boundaries. Seeing her bright red face, he gets suspicious of what she is doing on that laptop. Hey, humans have natural desires. There is really nothing to criticize here. But Xiaoxi, you are only 18, so do not get addicted, okay? Lust is a trap. She shrugs. Fine, she will just download them next time. He panics. No shot. He insists he never watched anything and claims maturity means resisting temptation. Oh, really? Then what are those 15 gigabytes in your browser? 5 years of college prep? Caught red-handed, he storms out to buy body wash and orange juice, warning her. Bring me a sparkling water. In your dreams, he fires back. But deep down, he is just too soft-hearted to actually say no to her. Back at work, colleague Xiao Li complains about their troublesome author, Cat Eats Mouse, delaying deadlines again. She begs to swap authors, but Chen Bai claims he is way too busy. Wait, busy? She immediately exposes him for playing Counter-Strike on the company clock. He defends it as monitoring world security, telling her to watch her mouth. Since they are both female, communicating with Cat Eats Mouse should be easier anyway. Besides, if he assigned her a male writer, she would complain even more. He offers to buy lunch on her dime, and she calls him completely shameless. Lunch is settled, but then Xiao Li asks his thoughts on office romance. He is blunt, absolutely brainless. According to him, those are just fantasies written by people who have never worked a real job. But she disagrees. Sneaking around in a company that bans office dating sounds so thrilling. He immediately asks if she is dating a coworker. Panicked, she asks if he likes anyone. To her surprise, he actually says yes. She stares hard. He gets nervous, asking if there's sleep crust in his eyes. She sighs. Eat up. The food is cold. Honestly, he is so dense. He eats happily, totally clueless. Suddenly, Xiaoxi appears and calls out to her brother Baizi. She is super passive-aggressive. He ignored her texts just to hang out with a pretty colleague. He tells her to drop the attitude and asks Xiao Li to go back first. Xiao Li worries she said something wrong, while Chen Bai asks Xiaoxi why she came. Xiaoxi says she was bored. Learning he has 4 hours left, she makes plans.
She decides to wait at a fast food place, but he finds her patience pretty suspicious. She denies it. She just did not want to commute home alone and bored. Waiting means they go home together. Plus, they can hang out afterward, which is pretty sweet.
Will she really not be bored? She laughs. Nobody gets bored with a phone and internet.
Fine. He heads back to the office, promising to text her after his shift. Finally off work, he texts her to meet him in the parking lot. She buys him a drink to thank him, but her sudden kindness makes him paranoid.
She teases him about being single.
He gets triggered immediately. Do not talk about that.
He rolls his eyes, leading the way to his car so they can head home.
Suddenly, she stops. I am in trouble. He asks if she took out shady loans. No way! Her shoe slipped off, and she wants him to help her pull it up. Can't you do it yourself? Well, her hands are full holding an iced coffee.
Plus, bending down risks exposing herself, though he wonders how that is possible in those pants.
She guilt trips him about waiting 4 hours, so he finally gives in to help. He tells her to slide her foot in and lift her heel a bit higher. Suddenly, she blushes. Don't you dare sniff your hand after touching my heel. She gets super flustered, warning him about infections. Honestly, her overreaction is absolutely hilarious. He asks what she is worried about, since he does not look like a creep wanting to sniff her heels. She calls him out for being too confident, saying she has to guard her heels because he is literally a foot fetishist. When he asks how she knows, she reminds him she saw those study folders on his phone. The search keywords were crazy, but he quickly begs her to shut up and stop reading them out loud. He complains that snooping was shameless enough, but exposing him like this completely ruins his reputation. She playfully offers to show him her bare feet every day so he can stop searching for filtered pictures online. He just begs for mercy. This slice of life dynamic is honestly peak comedy, and she mentions it has been ages since she watched a movie.
She asks if he is still mad, promising she will not judge his tastes, but he begs her to drop it.
She tells him to wait up since she already bought tickets for an indie film to cultivate their minds. He wonders how she got cash since she spent it all on games, but she admits she lied. He admits he underestimated her, but she tells him to stay back. She warns him that someone might mistake them for a couple since they are not at a class reunion. She says that would be bad, but he asks what she even means. When she brings up their age gap making them look incompatible, he asks if she likes older women. She gets tongue-tied trying to explain, so he just tells her to forget about it. He quickly realizes this boring indie movie is absolutely not for him. He can only sigh at how stubborn this girl can be. He decides to wait outside, but she immediately follows him out and asks if he has any drinks left. Since she ate too much popcorn, she asks for his drink, and he offers her the remaining half. He asks if she wants half a cup, and she gets confused. He tells her to hurry up and take it, but she playfully accuses him of saying something highly inappropriate. She explained she just wanted him to feed her some watermelon, making him the real beast for having a dirty mind. She teases him that guys with wild imaginations easily lose control, which is honestly hilarious. He playfully says she is dead. He yields to her teasing and tries to walk away quickly, but she tells him to slow down. She asks him to wait while she runs to the restroom. While waiting, another girl named Liu Lei suddenly approaches and calls him Brother Chen. She says Xiaoxi banned her from calling him Baidzi, but she can still call him Brother Chen if he likes. He immediately rejects the idea because he is too terrified of making his little ancestor mad again. Liu Lei scoffs and claims she is not scared of Xiaoxi at all after their fight at the karaoke bar. Then she boldly asks if she can add him on WeChat. He claims he does not use WeChat or QQ, which totally frustrates her. She asks if he's just whipped, but he clarifies he only sees Xiaoxi as his sister. He warns her not to misunderstand, but she demands to know why he refuses to add her if they are not dating. He gets annoyed by her persistence, and she storms off in a massive rage. What an absolute jerk! Xiaoxi returns and is surprised to find him waiting so calmly. He jokes that if he lacked this much patience, she would have driven him crazy a long time ago. She asks if she really annoys him that much, and he playfully complains about her always needing to pee. She jokingly chases him as he runs away. Back home, he is finally enjoying his peace-fit post-work life in the AC. But then Xiaoxi suddenly invades his room because her own AC broke down. She casually tries to claim a spot on his bed, but he tells her she is way too old for this and belongs on the floor.
She refuses and says she would rather sleep on the living room couch, and he gladly tells her to go ahead. No shot! She is actually serious! Bai is forced to choose between the hard floor or the dusty couch.
He takes the couch, promising to call an AC repairman tomorrow.
What trouble is he making? Her just laughs. She literally flashes her bare foot at him, comparing it to the filtered ones he looks at online. Bai laughs it off. He says his own feet are better, and she is just pale from anemia. Savage. Xiaoxi jokingly cuts him off for an hour, but then her college admission letter arrives. It is for Xincheng Industrial University. Frankly, a tech school does not fit her chaotic vibe at all. She asks what university fits her, and Bei recommends a film academy instead. She is gorgeous, making her perfect for showbiz, but she refuses to deal with dirty entertainment drama. Her dad would literally break her legs. Bai laughs, then asks when her parents are coming home. Since reporting day is close, Uncle Shen and his godmother should be back soon. They fly in tomorrow. Bai is stunned to hear this. Is he even their real son? They ignored his texts and did not even tell him they were returning. Adopted from a trash can? Xiaoxi laughs, teasing that he got none of their good genes. Otherwise, he would be more handsome, but Bai insists his looks already pressure other guys. If he were any hotter, other men would not survive. Xiaoxi rolls her eyes at his crazy narcissism. She celebrates her upcoming freedom, but Bai prefers his quiet solo life. Sharing a space feels weird, especially with a girl. Xiaoxi asks if he plans to stay single forever. She points out he will live with a girl eventually, so this is just early practice. Thanks a lot. The parents finally arrive. Xiaoxi runs to hug her godmother, who immediately asks if she has been eating well. Her mom thanks Bai, but his mom quickly waves it off. She jokes that staying in Bai's messy room was punishment enough for Xiaoxi. Bai gets completely roasted by his own mother. Still, he booked a fancy restaurant to celebrate. The dads plan to get a foot massage afterward, complaining that traveling abroad was exhausting. Hearing this, Bai immediately asks if they are going for a clean massage or the shady kind. His dad snaps, calling him a brat. They would never go to those places. He threatens to hang Bai up, noting his son looks chubby and needs some discipline. No shot! Bai instantly apologizes. Even as an adult, he still worries about getting double-teamed by his dad and Uncle Shen. Next day at work, the boss drops a bomb. Our boy Bai, who goes by Chen at work, is getting promoted. He is promoted to editor-in-chief in Beijing, but Chen is totally caught off guard and tries to decline. The boss is utterly confused. Who on earth complains about getting a massive promotion and a raise? Chen is happy about the money, but Xiaoxi is going to university in Beijing. She will definitely think he is stalking her. The boss snaps him out of his daydream. Chen plays it off as being too attached to the boss, begging to stay. But his boss says a real man needs big ambitions. This transfer is a test of his abilities. The decision is final. Chen must report to Beijing on September 1st. Wait, what? His colleagues are devastated that brother Chen is being sent so far away. They wonder if they will ever hang out. Chen explains he begged the boss, but it was locked in. One colleague is low-key heartbroken, complaining they are in a long-distance relationship before they even started dating. Chen laughs it off and suggests doing video calls to stay in touch. Later, Bai heads back home, but as he steps inside, he finds both families waiting. His parents and Uncle Shen are there to help Xiaoxi pack. Perfect timing for a family dinner. Alright, so Xiaoxi is heading to college tomorrow, and her parents tell Xiao Bai to drive her, but he is like, wait, I need to buy a ticket to Beijing too! She begs her dad to drive instead, shocked that Xiao Bai is also moving to Beijing. She jokingly asks if he just cannot bear to leave her. But he is just annoyed. Apparently his boss forced a transfer on him to become the chief editor at the Beijing branch, which is totally wild. He was doing perfectly fine in Haisheng, so he is literally contemplating quitting on the spot. His dad instantly shuts that down, calling him a coward if he quits over a transfer, while Xiaoxi's mom agrees they should travel together. She asks Xiao Bai to look after her daughter in the big city. He tells Aunt Yashin not to worry. Since they are going together anyway, he promises to protect her like a good older brother should. Later, Xiao Bai gets highly suspicious. He notices both sets of parents were not surprised at all, almost like they completely planned this. Xiaoxi calls him crazy, since parents cannot predict the future anyway, so he decides to just roll with it. He asks if she plans on living in the dorms or renting a place nearby.
She is undecided, but he highly recommends campus dorms as a test run for the real world.
Basically, learning to deal with roommates is training for your future career. She actually buys it. He warns her that if she cannot handle roommates, surviving office life later will be a nightmare. She agrees to try it out first, but she adds that if her roommates suck, she is definitely moving into his rental. The parents send them off at the station, reminding them to stay safe and look out for each other. Classic stingy Xiaobai. He complains about station food prices being way too high, but she laughs it off, saying station markups are totally normal. Since he is the one paying, she just tells him to stay calm and be a generous man. She teases him that being cheap will keep him single forever, then asks if he is excited about beautiful Beijing girls. This guy literally replies that women are just temporary illusions. Bro is built different, zero interest.
She jokingly asks if he just came back from the bathroom in sage mode, but he denies it.
He claims you do not need sage mode to see through romance, but she warns him their parents will never let him hear the end of it. He does not care. He lives for himself.
Happiness is all that matters. He turns it back on her, suggesting she find a college boyfriend.
But she says young boys are not her style, admitting she actually prefers mature guys like him. Wait, is she low-key confessing? He jokingly tells her to give up on him, while she silently calls him a stubborn virgin. Finally, their train arrives. On board, she offers to share a trendy show with him, but he shuts it down because it is too cheesy. He hates cheesy dramas and decides to take a nap instead. While he sleeps, she gets a message from her editor about her web novel's publication status. Because of strict online censorship, they have to use offshore publishing channels to get it printed. The editor offers to send a contract and suggests surveying her fan group for pre-orders. She thanks her editor, confident it will sell, but wonders if offshore publishing carries any risks. The editor explains they will schedule it quietly and wait for the right moment to avoid trouble. Other authors did the exact same thing. Xiaoxi asks if she can print a single private test copy first.
The editor easily agrees. Xiaoxi celebrates, absolutely thrilled that her and Xiaobai's secret novel is becoming real.
Once they arrive in Beijing, Xiaobai wakes up and gets ready to drop her off at campus before handling his own business. He has a massive to-do list, including finding an apartment. She offers to help him search. He declines, teasing her to focus on surviving her girls' dorm with all its legendary drama and gossip.
After grabbing a quick bite, they head to school. She asks if he will carry her bags inside.
She insists she only wants him to help. He points out she has plenty of options. Every year, senior guys jump at the chance to help pretty freshmen, but she hates strangers touching her stuff. He boasts that back in his day, he was the handsome senior everyone wanted.
Xiaoxi immediately grills him about why he stayed single if he was so popular.
He claims he was focused on studying, but she laughs, pointing out he did not really master either.
Talk about a massive L. He jokingly tells her he is starting to low-key hate her.
She teases that hate just means deep love, making him sarcastically fire back that he absolutely loves her. At registration, an upperclassman named Den Bowen immediately tries to slide in and get her info. He acts super smooth, telling her to hit him up whenever she needs help around campus. He brags about being in the student union and immediately offers to carry her bags to the dorm. But she shuts him down, claiming her boyfriend has it covered, once again using our boy as a shield.
She defends herself. She points out how sleazy that senior looks and wants zero business with him.
He reluctantly agrees, but warns her that this is the absolute last time because she is ruining his dating game. Soon, they meet her roommates, and our main guy introduces himself as her older brother to be safe. He asks them to take care of Xiaoxi, who quickly introduces herself to her new roommate, Shen Xiaoxi. Since they are roommates, he decides to head out. He tells Xiaoxi not to bother walking him out. It is way too hot anyway, and she promises to text him later tonight to keep him updated. Another roommate, a rich local named Zhang Xinru, immediately suggests they all grab dinner to celebrate starting college. She offers to pick the spots, and she knows all the best food joints around Beijing. Xiaoxi immediately texts Bai Zige, inviting him along to the dinner so he can meet the roommates. He thinks it is a bad idea, but she claims they will be drinking and she needs backup. She plays the weak card, reminding him she cannot hold her liquor and desperately needs his protection. He tells her to just skip the alcohol, but she argues she has to fit in with them. Plus, another roommate is bringing her boyfriend, so he will not be the only guy they're feeling awkward. Classic boomerang effect. He gives in and asks her to send the time and place. Meanwhile, our main guy meets with his new boss to discuss his official job arrangements. The boss keeps his editor-in-chief title but wants him to manage a new media department first to ease in. He agrees immediately, promising the boss that he will not let down his trust in this new role. With everything set, the boss tells him to greet the team and mentions hosting a welcome dinner for him tonight.
He panics. He already promised Xiaoxi he would attend her roommate dinner tonight. He quickly scrambles to find a polite excuse to decline the boss's offer.
He lies that his new apartment is a total mess and he needs tonight to unpack his things.
He promises to buy everyone dinner tomorrow instead, and the boss completely buys the excuse.
The boss tells him to just treat his own department, adding that he won't go so they can relax. He dismisses him to go meet the team, and our guy happily gets to work. Fast forward to the dinner, and Xiaoxi happily introduces him to the rest of the girls. She introduces Shan again, then points out Shinru, the local wealthy girl who picked the restaurant. Finally, she introduces Zhao Ran, and our main man politely greets them with a smile. Shinru praises his looks, but instantly brags that her boyfriend Haoran is still way more handsome. Apparently, Haoran is a trainee about to debut, but our guy realizes they think he is her boyfriend. The roommates tease him, saying they know the drill. Brother and sister by day, lovers by night. He internally screams because their minds are way too wild and they completely got it wrong. He pulls her aside, asking why she is just letting them believe this absurd misunderstanding. Xiaoxi argues that explaining things only makes them look guiltier, so it is better to stay quiet. He still feels awkward, but she teases him, asking if he is actually scared of her roommates. He explains he is worried this rumor will ruin her chances of getting a real college boyfriend. She jokingly calls him a saint. He just tells her to get lost. He drops it, while she reveals that Shinru has been bragging about her trainee boyfriend all day. She has been acting like she hit the jackpot, even though the guy is not even debuted yet. He notes that dating before debuting makes for a pretty bad idol, then asks if he is showing up. Can he even show his face in public? It's a private room, and his popularity is pretty low. How are things with your roommates? Honestly, Zhaoran seems pretty cool. He seems interesting, but low-key distant. What about Xie Shanshan and Zhang Xinru? Xie Shanshan is just a quiet nerd. Zhang Xinru is way too fake. I am actually thinking of moving in with you. No way! Absolutely not! School literally just started. If you move out, they will think you are isolating yourself. Try to adapt first before making any crazy moves.
Are you rejecting me because I will get in your way? Of course not. Do I look like that?
My door's always open. Well, you said it. Oh man, did he just set a massive trap? Cheers to that. She claims she is pulling amazing loot in her game, but she is clearly drunk and dizzy. He points out she only had 2 beers. Her alcohol tolerance is just tiny. She asks what he thinks of Nangong Haoran. He is handsome, polite, and already paid the entire bill. He ruined her chance to look cool. But does paying the bill automatically make him a good guy? I bet he is a total playboy. He kept secretly staring at her all night. Well, that is pretty normal. Guys are visual creatures. Even if their girlfriend is a 10, they will still check out other girls. But he kept staring. She thinks he likes her. He checks her forehead to see if she is crazy. Our girl snaps because he never takes her seriously. She warns him that someone will snatch her away one day. He just laughs because she's an adult. Wait, the vibe is shifting. Things are getting a little too intimate. Either way, she has a bad feeling and hopes Zhang Xinru does not get played. Hopefully. She complains about his tiny apartment, so he tells her to buy him a better one. Classic banter.
Honestly, the chemistry between these two is always top tier.
She is just chillin', watching videos on her phone. He walks in and calls her out for lying around while he does all the work. Why is she watching circumcision videos? That is so random. Does she even see him as a guy?
She literally views him as one of her girlfriends.
Then she jokes he should get a sex change in Thailand, which gets him heated. Our female lead heads to the bathroom to escape. Once alone, she panics. What if he actually believes she has zero romantic interest in him? Should she explain herself? No, too embarrassing. At this point, she is completely overthinking it. He teases her about taking so long, but she immediately snaps back. She asks if he made the bed in the guest room. Why would he do that? Because she is staying over tonight. Total shocker. She claims she is too dizzy from drinking to head home. He jokes about her weird video.
He teases her again, but she tells him to mind his own business.
Our boy agrees, but she has to sleep in the guest room so he can sleep peacefully. She graciously lets him off the hook just this once. Next morning, she wakes him up. When he doesn't answer, she teases him. But when he opens his eyes, he is stunned.
Why is Shen Xiaoxi literally glowing? She is wearing his oversized clothes. She took a shower and had nothing else to wear. Then she asks a suspicious question.
Did he sneak into her room? She felt like she was hugging something big and warm. She insists she absolutely did not sneak into his room, calling him a total narcissist for even thinking she would ever do that. Chenbai sighs in relief, figuring it was just a wild dream, since it would be a total disaster if it was actually Xiaoxi. He recalls cuddling and rubbing against that soft pillow like crazy, thinking it would have been a massive sin if it were really her. But then he gets suspicious and wonders why she is suddenly bringing this up. She smirks, teasingly asking if he actually had a sweet dream about her last night. He scoffingly replies that her corny jokes are actually perfect for cooling down in this crazy humid weather, vehemently swearing he absolutely did not dream of her at all. But she blushes, teasing him that she actually dreamed of him holding her tight and snuggling all over her. Talk about a massive self-report. He instantly catches on, realizing she basically just admitted to sneaking into his room. She tells him not to overthink it, jokingly saying she will just pretend she got nibbled on by a stray dog, claiming her own bed next door was just way too uncomfortable to sleep in. So she only crashed in his room to make do, promising she won't tell her mom. He gets utterly triggered by that dog comparison. He rants that he didn't even do anything to her and he should be the one demanding massive mental damages since he's clearly the real victim here in this situation. Back at the office, an assistant hands editor-in-chief Chen a brand new contract from NetEase's media channel, asking him to carefully review and sign it if everything looks good on their end. Reading through the terms, Chenbai quickly notices NetEase wants to redirect all their existing traffic and readers back to their brand new platform. The assistant confirms the detail, admitting this specific redirect clause in the contract seems pretty sketchy. He points out NetEase is basically just using their quality books to fill up their own library, then demands to know who on their team originally negotiated this terrible deal. The assistant explains the previous editor-in-chief already resigned, and this was actually his final project, which the big boss has already glanced over without saying much of anything about it. Since the boss left it up to them, he decides to schedule an urgent face-to-face meeting with NetEase. He smells a massive trap in this contract and refuses to sign anything until they discuss it face-to-face. Later that day, Xiaoxi texts him saying she's dropping by his place tonight, but promises not to sleep over. He dryly asks why she's coming over, and she claims she's just delivering food. He warns her to focus on her schoolwork, but she insists she has a special gift. She bought it back when they were in Heicheng, but forgot to hand it over, though he quickly points out his birthday already passed months ago. Why a gift now? She snaps back that gifts don't need a birthday, adding that this is literally her last visit before her upcoming college military training starts. Hearing this, Chenbai is internally throwing a party. 15 days of military training means a half month of peace. Stifling his pure joy of solo living, he tells her to come late so he actually has time to get off work. She promises to text him, and the scene shifts to him arriving at the restaurant. He introduces himself as Chenbai to the NetEase representative, Manager Yin, who wonders why he's waiting outside in the sweltering heat. He politely explains he didn't mind waiting outside for her at all, so they head inside the restaurant to enjoy some famous local Beijing cuisine, while comfortably discussing their business over dinner. As they eat, he gets straight to the point, showing her the contract draft and explaining that they really need to patch all these massive loopholes before they can even think of proceeding. Manager Yin nods, admitting she completely understands his realistic fear of NetEase using their quality content to simply pad their own library numbers on the new site. But she reassures him that their entire project team has massive confidence in making this launch a huge hit. She promises they won't lose out on this deal and formally invites him to visit their headquarters whenever he has some spare time so she can show him exactly how they operate there. She wants to show him their highly detailed market analysis and live back-end data so he can fully understand their strategy, which he gladly accepts anytime. They agree to shelve the contract for now, and she jokingly asks if the highly diligent editor-in-chief can finally enjoy his delicious Beijing food in peace. He laughs sheepishly, apologizing for being so work-focused and agreeing not to waste the meal. She then asks if this is his first time in Beijing. He confirms it is, and when asked about his overall impressions, he jokes that besides the absolutely insane summer humidity, the city is actually pretty great for him so far.
She completely agrees with his point, admitting she has lived here for over 20 years and still has not fully adapted to this sticky, uncomfortable climate.
She complains about the awful damp weather, mentioning she personally prefers living in coastal cities much more. He feels the exact same way, sharing his highly romantic dream of buying a beautiful house right by the ocean once he saves enough money, just so he can watch the waves daily.
She praises his romantic outlook, saying his girlfriend must be super happy to be with him, but he quickly clarifies that he is actually still a proud member of the Single Dogs Club.
She's shocked, pointing out his height and good looks, and wonders if he's just being way too picky. He explains he simply has zero interest in dating, which highly surprises her since she actually feels the exact same way about both relationships and marriage.
She admits she is fully prepared to grow old alone, making him laugh out loud before they finally decide to wrap up their highly pleasant dinner for the evening on a good note.
They schedule their office tour for tomorrow, and honestly, their chemistry is low-key interesting.
Xiaoxin just got here, but she is already demanding a spare key so she does not wait outside like an idiot.
No shot! She complains, is giving me a key really gonna kill you? His excuse is gold.
She already sneaks in at night without a key, so what happens if she gets one?
She laughs. I am not even scared of you ruining me, so relax, Baizi. Relax? What is she planning? She claims she just has a gift for him and asks why he is so worried.
She teases that he is totally not her type anyway, saying she likes tall, handsome young guys, not some old fogey like him.
He only asked one simple question, so she is definitely overreacting here. Talk about trying way too hard to cover it up. He asks for the gift and she pulls out a Casio watch, making him wonder why she bought it.
She noticed he did not have a watch, so she got this inexpensive one so he can wear it to work every day.
She says to tell coworkers his girlfriend bought it, though she quickly adds she does not actually want that role. Since he is a chief editor now, she is worried some office foxes might try to seduce him and ruin his work efficiency.
She claims she is just being a free shield out of pure kindness, then jokes about buying him a Rolex instead.
Baizi immediately panics. Even his branch boss does not wear a Rolex, so he begs her not to ruin him like that. Such a hater. She grumbles that he is biting the hand that feeds him, then asks if he has eaten yet.
She offers to cook together but asks if he even has ingredients in his kitchen.
Knowing him, she already ordered groceries from a nearby supermarket on her way over, and they should be arriving any minute. She bought eggplant, tomatoes, eggs, and pork belly, and Baizi wonders if she spent too much of her own money. She brags about having a secret stash from writing web novels, but he is extremely skeptical about her being an author. He laughs it off, saying he is not that gullible, and she immediately admits she was just teasing him. Yeah, she was totally joking. How could she possibly write web novels? But hey, this cozy vibe is honestly so sweet. Baizi praises her and decides they will make some rice tonight, along with a couple of home-cooked stir-fry dishes. They are making tomato eggs and chili pork belly, so she offers to wash the veggies while he gives cooking tips. He warns her not to put too much water in the rice cooker, and she confidently claims she has got it covered. But of course, the cooking goes slightly wrong. He sighs that the rice is a bit too soft. He prefers firm rice because leftovers are perfect for making fried rice, which immediately makes her super defensive.
She complains that after buying him a watch and groceries, he is still nagging her over a minor rice mistake.
Whatever. She immediately pivots to his new job. He says everyone is great, mentioning he met a gorgeous client today, a mature, classy woman in black stockings. Look at his smug face. She teases him that he's smiling so hard his teeth are about to fly out. He stammers that it is not like that. He just really enjoyed chatting with President Yin. On the same wavelength, Xiaoxin immediately asks if he has a crush. Baizi quickly denies it. A powerful career woman like her is way out of his league anyway.
She agrees, saying aside from being decent-looking, stable, and having a good background, he does not have much going for him. But wait.
Why does that actually make her feel more insecure? She silently calls him a clueless blockhead while they continue eating. Since it is getting late, she asks him to walk her back to school, making him think he finally gets his quiet apartment back. But being the softy he is, Baizi says he is actually going to miss her and asks if she wants to stay. She immediately offers to stay the night, which panics him because she has school and military training tomorrow. Xiaoxin hilariously claims her morals are already non-existent anyway, so skipping school is completely on brand for her. Besides, she just cannot bear to leave him all alone in an empty house. It is just way too lonely.
No shot. Baizi refuses to let her skip school, insisting on being the responsible one.
He drags her out to walk her back, even though she complains about him changing his mind.
He pulls out the classic excuse. Romantic feelings are minor, but studying for the nation is a big deal.
He acts like a model citizen, claiming the country needs bright young minds like her, so he cannot be selfish.
Absolute gentleman energy. Once they reach the campus, she tells him to go home and rest, ending their chaotic but sweet night together. She tells him to miss her during his training, joking that he better behave and get out early.
She wonders if that jerk Beige will actually miss her. Meanwhile, NetEase really is a massive company.
Just their new media department is bigger than our entire branch. Editor-in-Chief Chen, do you believe us now? He admits he was totally doubting them before, but they reassure him that as a boss, being cautious makes sense. Honestly, Manager Yin really admires Chen's style, but Chen just plays it cool and humble. They agree to sign the contract today, but right as they're celebrating, boom, an accident happens.
She didn't get burned, but her shirt is completely ruined now. Classic drama accident, honestly.
Chen politely steps outside so she can change, promising to wait until she's decent. She asks him to call her assistant for a fresh outfit, and he happily obliges. Her figure is absolutely insane. He immediately shakes it off, like, bro, what am I even thinking right now? With the contract signed, Chen gets ready to head back to work, but she stops him. She asks him out for the weekend. A private date? Actually, she needs some help. She's house hunting and is worried the agent will rip her off if she goes alone. Having a guy there makes her feel safer, and Chen is totally down to tag along. Meanwhile, a girl named Shinru is crying her eyes out because her boyfriend Haoran dumped her. Her friend is shocked since they seemed like the perfect couple. What went wrong? Turns out he dumped her for a female executive who promised to help him debut.
He actually claimed she was holding him back from his dream. What a total clown.
Her friend comforts her. Forget him, his loss. Time to find someone better next time. Sinru hugs her bestie Xiaoxi, grateful that she's the only one showing any real sympathy. She throws shade at Xiaoran for just sitting there, but Xiaoran is built different. Xiaoran points out she's never been dumped or cried over a guy. Honestly, savage response. Shinru gets mad, but Xiaoran just shrugs it off. Hey, she called her cold-blooded first, leaving her totally speechless. To feel better, Shinru plans a girls' weekend with Xiaoxi, deliberately leaving Xiaoran out. Fast forward to the weekend, Chen arrives at the meetup spot to find Manager Yin. She apologizes for being late due to traffic, but he's a total gentleman about it. After a quick, refreshing drink, they head out to meet the real estate agent. Inside the apartment, Chen thinks the place looks pretty nice and bright. Since she's the one living here, her opinion is the only one that matters. With the deal sealed, she suggests checking out a nearby amusement park with her VIP card. He agrees, especially since they can grab dinner there. She insists on paying for everything today, since he helped her out all weekend.
Chen jokes that he'll gladly play the role of her handsome, freeloading date today.
She laughs, telling him he actually fits that role surprisingly well. She even asks if he'd ever consider making that gig permanent. Wait, is she actually rizzing him up? He just laughs it off. It turns out Chen is a bit of a softie who can't handle extreme rides. No worries though, she's got VIP passes to skip all the lines for the chill stuff. But wait, is this really what she calls a gentle ride? To make it up to him, she treats him to some ice cream. But out of nowhere, another girl spots him hanging out with Yin and confronts him.
He claims he's just chilling at home, but she is not buying his lies.
Manager Yin asks if he's okay, but he's sweating bullets right now. Wait, our girl actually spots him and asks why he is there instead of resting at home. His head is literally about to explode. Why on earth is she even here? He introduces her as Xiaoxi, but she instantly claims to be his girlfriend. Talk about bold. He quickly backtracks, explaining they are just childhood friends, since their parents are super close. The manager silently calls him a total scumbag, before introducing herself as Yin Sheng. She explains she is a NetEase manager, suggesting they all hang out since they ran into each other.
Xiaoxi asks if she minds, mentioning she has 3 roommates coming along soon.
Ying Sheng says she does not mind. Honestly, the more people, the merrier, right? He apologizes for the trouble, while Yin Sheng asks if Xiaoxi is still a university student. He asks why they are slacking off instead of doing military training, causing her to scoff.
She snaps back, asking if they cannot rest, while her roommate offers Xiaoxi some ice cream.
Xiaoxi instantly takes a bite of his instead, making him ask if she is not grossed out.
She boldly claims she's used to sharing his food, leaving him with no choice but to yield.
She is literally marking her territory right in front of the manager, which is wild. Honestly, watching this subtle romantic warfare play out is both hilarious and slightly cringy. Suddenly, our main character stumbles and stubs his toe, causing a hilarious mini-scene. He plays it down, and the manager decides to leave, feeling bad she cannot stay longer.
He promises they will hang out next time, and she agrees they definitely have a deal.
She says goodbye, while one of the roommates suggests riding the roller coaster next.
But most of them chicken out, admitting they cannot handle such intense, terrifying rides. The brave ones head off, agreeing to meet up at the main gate when they are finished. Left alone, Xiaoxi immediately pouts, asking if she's just a backup option now that his date left. He quickly defends himself, explaining he was strictly out on business with the manager. She scoffs at doing business at an amusement park, but he tells her to stop being dramatic. He threatens to head home, so she quickly suggests a romantic ride on the Ferris wheel. He agrees, grabbing his keys as they make their way over to buy tickets. While in line, she jokingly warns him to behave, or she will scream for help. He tells her to stop being so vain, only wanting to know why she lied to him. She plays dumb, but he decides to just enjoy this rare, quiet, alone time together. She sighs, wishing she had worn a prettier black dress that he would absolutely love.
He bluntly responds that he has seen plenty of girls in black, so it is unnecessary.
He adds that she's a student and should focus on studying, making her complain about his nagging. He claims it is for her own good, but she jokes he sounds exactly like her father. She playfully calls him daddy, which instantly makes him panic about her parents finding out. She laughs it off as a harmless joke, wondering why you got so incredibly worked up. He snaps that she should not joke with that word, and she promises to stop teasing him. He tells her to sit down before they both fall out and turn into tragic butterflies. Our main character mentally facepalms, wondering what kind of wild web novel she is reading online. Suddenly, she spots another attraction and begs him to let her play it. He instantly refuses, but she begs for mercy since her military training torture resumes tomorrow.
She pleads for a little humanity, so he finally gives in on one major condition.
If she gets scared inside, she is strictly forbidden from ripping his clothes or grabbing him. But the moment they step inside, she starts screaming for him to save her.
She apologizes for being terrified, but notes his nice clothes today won't rip as easily.
He is completely speechless, realizing she is still planning on tearing his shirt anyway. Wait, does she seriously think he's some host club male model? He promises that is absolutely not happening this time. She vows that if she ever drags him to a haunted house again, she'll wash her hair doing a handstand. It was super thrilling for her, but his ears are literally about to stop working from all the screaming. He doesn't get why she came when she's so terrified, but Xiaoxi giggles and explains that's the whole point of a haunted house. She notices Brother Bai doesn't flinch at all. He proudly claims to be a hardcore atheist who doesn't believe in anything. He doesn't buy into gods or spirits, but she warns him that bragging like that is exactly how you get haunted. She tells him to watch out for ghosts like Xiao Qian, but he jokingly asks if it's the classic movie version. He laughs that he can't wait for her to show up, which immediately earns him a massive eye roll. He tries to defend himself, but then her roommate pops up and asks if Xiaoxi is going home with Brother Bai tonight.
Xiaoxi blushes and says they just have some errands, but her roommate teasingly reminds them to make sure to use protection.
She insists it's strictly serious business, but the roommate jokes there's nothing more serious than that. Giving up, Xiaoxi tells Brother Bai to slow down, blaming him for the whole awkward situation. Brother Bai is just like, not my roommate, not my problem, why blame me? He advises her to stay away from friends with dirty minds before they corrupt her innocent soul. Changing the subject, Xiaoxi asks him to help her open a bank card, leaving him wondering why she needs one.
She claims she just wants to do it for fun, so he shrugs and agrees to tag along.
After they finish, she asks him to drop her off back at her school. Alright, so turns out a guy in her class is pursuing her, and she needs him to act as her shield.
He's shocked since school literally just started, but she confidently boasts that any guy would fall for her looks.
Brother Bai refuses to comment on her looks, but he definitely calls out her crazy level of self-love. They arrive, and he tells her she can head up now. She asks if they should hug to look more like a couple, but he immediately shuts that down.
She pouts, complaining that he has absolutely zero romantic bones.
And then, boom, the scene shifts to Manager Yin, who gets a sudden call asking for a late-night favor. The caller explains they had a massive disagreement with the moving company during their move. So they decided to do it alone and want to know if she can help carry things upstairs. She promises to treat him to dinner, and Editor Chen happily agrees to head straight over after work. Manager Yin is super grateful, but Editor Chen just brushes it off as a simple favor. Later that evening, Editor Chen arrives at the neighborhood, hoping he got the right direction. He spots Manager Yin already carrying boxes and jokingly tells her she should have waited for him. She sweetly replies that she wanted to lighten his workload, plus she's only carrying the lighter packages. She jokes that all the heavy lifting is saved for him. He laughs and says that's only fair. Otherwise, he'd feel way too guilty letting her buy him a free dinner. She laughs and says she's the one who should be truly grateful for his help. Once inside, she asks if he is hot and offers to turn on the air conditioning. With the room finally cooling down, they both relax. But then Editor Chen stares at the floor. She asks if there's some dirt on the floor, but he quickly shakes his head in denial. He awkwardly claims he's just looking for ants because he randomly enjoys counting them. She laughs, joking that if her new place actually has ants, she'd have to pack up and move again. He wonders why a big-time manager at NetEase like her is renting instead of buying a home. She admits she'd love to buy, but a rented house will never truly belong to her. He agrees, but their deep conversation is cut short when her phone suddenly rings. She answers, only for an extremely angry voice on the other end to start screaming at her. Turns out it's her furious mother yelling, so she quickly hangs up and apologizes for the drama. Editor Chen reassuringly says every family has their own issues, and she sadly agrees before explaining. Why hasn't she bought a house? Because she literally can't save a single penny. Growing up in a poor mountain village with 4 sisters and a younger brother, every cent she made went straight back home, leaving her completely broke. Talk about a massive family burden. Her parents are extremely old school with a toxic mindset. They only cared about having a son. Her original name literally meant bring a brother, so she legally changed it to Yin Shengnan. She wanted to prove she is just as good as any guy. Now she is finally choosing to live for herself. No more sending cash back. Her family always claimed the money was for school fees, but guess what? It was all wasted on their precious spoiled son. Talk about a major scam. She is done. If they decided to have all those kids, they can raise them. She is not their mother, so why should she pay? Chenbo totally agrees, telling her she is absolutely right. Letting a toxic family leech off you will only ruin your life. Honestly, you have to put yourself first. Shengnan changes the subject, offering to cook him a homemade meal at her new place. She claims she is a beast in the kitchen. Chenbo is down, but wonders if she even has groceries. Turns out she already prepped everything for a cozy housewarming dinner. Chenbo offers to help out. Cooking together is way faster, and the vibe is getting pretty wholesome. He congratulates her on the new start. She thanks him and says he can call her Shengnan's sister. She decides to call him Chao Chen since they're off the clock. No need for formal titles here. He agrees, and she teases him, calling him her little brother Chenbo. Chenbo notices her foot is touching his, and honestly, things just got incredibly spicy. She straight up admits she did it on purpose just to test his self-control. Since he is young and successful, she claims she is just preparing him for future temptations. She wants to make sure he does not go astray. This sisterly testing is getting pretty wild. He laughs it off, saying his self-control is rock solid, so she really does not need to worry. She teases him to stand up to prove it. Is she trying to catch him lacking? Recognizing she is clearly tipsy, Chenbo suggests calling it a night before things get too out of hand. He needs to get home because tomorrow is another day of being a corporate slave. She offers to walk him down. He regrets that she cannot drive him home. Chenbo says a cab is perfectly fine. Safety first, no drinking and driving. But as soon as he steps outside, a massive storm hits. He knows his sister Shen Xiaoxi is probably celebrating because this downpour might cancel her military training.
Surely they would not force students to train in a literal hurricane unless they were training special forces.
That girl got so lucky. But wait, he hears a tiny whimpering sound nearby. He finds a tiny puppy shivering in the cold. It looks abandoned and completely soaked. He tells the little pup he's a good guy and wants to adopt her. If she wants to go with him, she just needs to give a little bark. Right on cue, the puppy whimpers, so he decides to officially take her home. Turns out she is a little female pup. He promises to find her some food. Once they are safe inside, he finally gets to relax and make a phone call. His sister answers, teasing him for sounding totally exhausted and asking if he did something bad. With a girl, classic annoying sister behavior.
He tells her to stop making things up. He is just tired from work.
She confirms tomorrow is her final day. Then she has a 2-day break to visit him. But she complains that they have to do a boring group party after training. Why can't everyone just go home instead of doing cringy, sentimental performances? He laughs, telling her some people actually like saying goodbye. Besides, she does not have to perform anyway. She asks if he will come, but suddenly he yells at the new puppy for peeing on the floor. Hearing him scream about an untrained puppy, his sister assumes he is hiding a secret girlfriend. She's literally ready to crash his place to catch him cheating, while he desperately explains the puppy just peed on the floor. He warns the puppy Fugui that he is officially banned from ruining the clean floors ever again. Fuming with absolute rage, she bangs on the door, screaming for Baizi to open up right this second. Baizi opens the door in complete shock, asking why she's standing in the pouring rain without even an umbrella. And then, boom, she realizes the female pup he mentioned on the phone is actually a real dog. He explains he rescued the poor stray from downstairs to save its life, totally playing the wholesome good guy card here.
Baizi asks if she seriously rushed over just for the dog or if she had some other wild ideas.
Of course, she plays it off, claiming she is just a massive dog lover who could not wait to meet him. He is low-key skeptical of her claim, but she completely ignores him just to hug the cute puppy. Baizi quickly stops her, telling her to dry her wet hands first so little Fui does not end up catching a cold. She cannot believe he gave a female puppy such a hilarious name. Fugui is such a lucky name, and it rolls right off the tongue, since you are the dad and you say so. As the mom, I have nothing left to say. I will go mix his food. Wait, I am his dad, so how are you the mom? This makes no sense. Brother Bazzi, look, Fugi really likes me. Haha, do not get your hopes up too fast because a dog is friendly to absolutely everyone. A total simp. Since it is pouring outside, you should just stay over tonight. I already messaged your roommates on my way here.
Let me grab you some clean clothes. I will sleep next door tonight, so you take my room. Oh, by the way,
Xiaoqi, let me ask you, if you were a girl, what gift would you want from a coworker? A gift? Bro, you just started there and you are already rizzing them up? What are you even saying? It is... No, a girl in my department has a birthday next Monday. I only heard about it from other colleagues, and as her manager, I should show some appreciation. At our last team dinner, I drank too much, and she covered for me, so both professionally and personally, I should get her a gift. He is immediately on the defensive. Like, does he seriously have to report his entire life to her? She is not his mom.
she tells him he can call her dad, but calling her mom is crossing the line. He swears he never did, so she better stop joking. Besides, his parents wouldn't even care. His mom literally calls his dad that too. Talk about a wild family dynamic. At this point, she realizes he is a total lost cause. His main account is bricked, and she jokingly suggests his parents should just roll a new Smurf account. Since the girl is a female coworker and he is literally her boss, she warns him not to buy an overly expensive gift. Otherwise, people are going to start assuming some shady corporate behavior. He actually agrees that it is a solid point. It definitely beats him stressing out. But then she immediately pivots, demanding to know what he is getting her for her birthday next year. He is like, who pre-orders a birthday gift? Especially when 2 years ago he gave her a secondhand camera he did not even want. And the year before that, a game console he got bored of. Lately, he just lazily transfers her $200. Brother, bye. Put some actual effort in. He tries to brush it off, saying they are just bros, but promises next year will be epic. Classic excuse. We all know he's capping.
But low-key, this makes him realize he has been slacking hard with Xiaoxi. Meanwhile, Xiaoxi always puts so much heart into his gifts. Some are even handmade. Our boy definitely needs to step up and plan something amazing for Xiaoxi's next birthday. The next morning, Xiaoxi shows up super early to see the puppy, Fugui. He even brought canned food and a leash for walks. But he points out the pup is still way too small to go out. Xiaoxi argues that early puppy socialization is key, thanks to internet wisdom. Turns out he bought a whole crate yesterday with a resting and potty area. Honestly, his preparation is surprisingly top tier. He takes the compliment. He tells her to make herself comfortable while he goes to wash up. She tells him to go ahead and not worry about her because she is already making herself right at home. Just then, she decides to check the promo stats for her new book. She gets a text from Sister Shengnan thanking her for the help, immediately followed by an invitation to hang out. He mentions a great Japanese spot and playfully tells her to treat him, but she is busy today. Next time for sure. Since she is free, she decides to just hit up the beauty salon to pamper herself instead. But out of nowhere, another message pops up. Someone is asking where she wants to go, offering to spend the weekend together. She already has a spot in mind, but she refuses to tell him until they arrive. They grab some seats, but where are they going? She reveals there is a massive new flower market nearby and she wants to check it out. She wants to buy him some plants to help this stressed-out workaholic relax his mind. Calling him an old man definitely hurts. The subway ride takes about 40 minutes, but since it is the weekend, they are not rushing. Waking up early has her sleepy, so she steals his shoulder. Watch the public image, but she does not care. It is not like they are kissing, though she jokes that she would reject him anyway. He calls her a brat as the speaker announces they are arriving at Kazhuang Station. The doors open. Time to go. She had a great nap, but his shoulder is completely numb, so she promises him free food. Suddenly, a flash. Did he seriously just do that? She spots him taking photos and tells Brother Bai to grab him. He pins him down. She calls the police. They realize another girl was targeted too, so they ask her to join them to the station. The creep is terrified. She goes full rage mode, screaming that she will absolutely ruin his life for this. She is built different, guys. He was actually selling these private photos online for profit, which is a major, serious crime. 10 years in prison. He begs for forgiveness, playing the family card, but there is zero chance they show mercy. They are roasting this absolute trash villain, saying he deserves to be locked up. Honestly, though, bringing in the big guns of justice is way too much honor for a creep like him.
She suggests giving him the ultimate snip-snip treatment, instant karma.
The victim totally agrees with this brutal punishment, thanking them both before taking her leave. She even assumes they are dating, which is hilarious. Wait, since when did he suddenly become her boyfriend? Brother Bai Zi is completely flabbergasted. Too wholesome. Xiao Meng is full of praise, admitting she expected him to just bark instead of bite, but he literally chased the creep down and folded him with one kick. He immediately protests, arguing that guys only get a bad reputation because of creeps like that. She offers him ice cream as a reward before they head to the flower market, but he demands the expensive stuff. Calling it a total ripoff, she gets playfully teased by him for being completely broke. They enter the flower market and he is genuinely surprised by how many people actually love gardening. Over here! She promises to buy him whatever he wants, insisting she is completely serious about getting him a gift. He warns her not to touch the plants, admitting he knows nothing about gardening. Admitting he does not even know what a real rose looks like, she offers to buy one. But wait, aren't those meant for couples? She playfully refuses, and he claims he wouldn't even accept them. Wait, a tree? Instead of delicate flowers, she picks out a hardy tree, joking that normal plants would die too quickly under his care. He wonders what happens if he somehow manages to kill the tree too. Laughing at the challenge, he says he cannot wait to show off his gardening skills. It is her gift to him, but she quickly laughs it off as a joke. The background music swells as their wholesome chemistry goes off the charts. They are clearly falling hard. There is no shot they are just friends. This slow burn romance is cooking. Voice chat. Can you see me? Hello? Yeah, I can see you just fine. Achoo. Who knew Rand could be so wild behind closed doors when she usually acts so cold and aloof? Some people look like they are putting on a mask, but they are actually taking it off. Human hearts are truly unpredictable. Xiaoxi then suggests they go over to Ran to ask for some medicine, just to see her reaction. Bai shuts her down. Stop messing around. Ran is just working a part-time job, and we shouldn't ruin her hustle. Xiaoxi is confused. Her expensive clothes and skincare mean she's definitely not struggling for cash. Why would she even need a side hustle? Maybe she just wants a side quest. But Bai points out not everyone works to survive. Even Xiaoxi only works because his godfather wanted to build her character. Soon, she has to inherit everything. But she refuses to be underestimated. If she wanted to just take over, she would have started slacking off years ago. She refuses to be a spoiled rich kid. She wants to be the founder who builds everything from scratch to pass down to her kids. Honestly, respect. But Bai quickly brings up a major plot hole. Didn't she say before that she was absolutely not interested in marriage or kids? Xiaoxi just shrugs it off. People change, right? She tells him he better work hard now. Especially since she spends a ton of money, and raising future kids is going to be incredibly expensive for them. Bei clarifies that he never agreed to marry her, but she says the future is a wild card. Cut to them at home. Bai warns their dog Fugui to stop barking before the neighbors complain. This dog is insanely smart, basically a toddler in a fur coat. Meanwhile, Bai starts praying to a money tree. He begs the tree to bring him wealth. Xiaoxi calls him out for being superstitious, but he insists it isn't superstition, just setting positive vibes. Suddenly, the dog starts chewing on her shoes. Bai asks if her feet are toxic waste because Fugi is totally obsessed. She is absolutely offended by his teasing and threatens to shove her foot right in his face for him to smell. Bai instantly declines the offer. She casually announces she is crash padding at his place for the rest of the holiday. Our boy Bai knew this was coming. She promises to play the perfect roommate and cook him dinner when he gets off work. He immediately asks if he needs a stomach pump. But she is determined to practice her wife skills on him. If she fails, is he going to take responsibility? He genuinely thinks she is great just the way she is. Cue the romantic tension. She gets all flustered and tells him not to spoil her like that. Later that night, she calls out. He is already fully dressed and tells her he has to head out unexpectedly. He isn't sure when he'll be back tonight. He tells her to stay home and order takeout if she gets hungry. Outside, it is absolutely pouring as she asks where he's going in such a rush. Turns out his boss ordered him to attend a business dinner with some major clients. She gets suspicious and asks why he is going instead of his secretary. She asks if he got demoted. Bai laughs off her crazy stereotypes, saying it doesn't always have to be a female secretary. Men are just better drinkers anyway, which is crucial when it comes to closing business deals and keeping the boss happy. If they want female company, they can just go to a nightclub afterward. Nightclubs are packed with women anyway. But then she catches on to his wording. How does he know so much? He tells her to stop spreading rumors and tries to head out there, but she immediately insists on tagging along and waiting outside the venue for him, just in case he gets completely wasted and needs a ride home. But he tells her it is too inconvenient, especially if they hit the after-party. She is highly skeptical. Is he really going to a club? He jokes that he is a clean man who never goes up to the suspicious third floor. That does absolutely nothing to reassure her. He tells her to be good and wait, but she suddenly grabs his belt. She is literally memorizing which hole his belt is buckled into. If that belt hole changes by the time he gets back tonight, he is dead. He calls her crazy and heads out. She whispers she wouldn't mind being his wife. Next scene, he is already at the dinner party, chugging drinks and kissing up to the corporate bosses. His boss boasts about being a regular here and offers to show him how to get the special treatment. He politely declines, saying a simple foot massage is plenty. Meanwhile, back home, Xiaoxi is absolutely blowing up his phone, demanding to know what he is doing. She tells him to sleep if he's tired, then asks where he is. Lihua bathhouse? No shot. She is furious he went to such a sketchy place and threatens to tell his godparents. He panics immediately, begging her not to do that because he only came with his boss. He explains they are literally just getting foot massages and he will head straight home right after. He insists he is totally loyal and has relationship purity. But the silly girl completely ghosts him. This guy is low-key hilarious when he panics. Then he runs into Zhao Ran working a part-time job there. Talk about the ultimate awkward encounter.
She jokingly asks if Xiaoxi knows and literally demands a bribe to shut up. He desperately tries to explain he is only here with clients, but she is like, I get it. She tells him not to worry since she won't judge, saying men deserve to relax too. But she warns him to be careful because this place is pretty sketchy.
She warns him not to catch anything gross, and he asks why she is working here. She explains she is just a waiter because she lacks masseuse skills. She mentions clearing tables on the second floor, which he had absolutely no idea about. He asks if she is broke, but she says she just cannot stand being idle. Anyway, I need to get back to my part-time shift. Have fun, and don't worry, my lips are sealed. You can trust Xiaoran. She even adds that she totally got his back. Honestly, she is a real one. Suddenly, his boss tells Chen they are staying the night so he can head home. He leaves, but immediately gets hit on by a girl. Then, boom, he spots his girlfriend. He panics, asking if she is here to catch him cheating, swearing he did nothing. She asks if she cannot just be worried and wait for him, noting he does not even smell like alcohol. She wonders if it wore off or if he barely drank. He drank a ton, but his head is clearing up. She asks if they can go home. He says his boss stayed behind, but she still doubts if he did anything sketchy. He repeats that he is loyal, and she admits she arrived right after his text. He asks why on earth she waited all this time in the freezing cold instead of sleeping. He wonders if she was really afraid he would not return. She playfully says she was just afraid he would drink himself to death, and he thanks her. She wanted to go inside to find him, but felt way too embarrassed, so she just scrolled on her phone. He asks why she felt awkward going in. Come on, did she really think a bathhouse was a brothel? Not at all. She just feels like those places are sketchy, and a decent girl like her would never step foot inside. But that is just pure prejudice, because modern bathhouses aren't all shady business. Plenty of them are totally legit. Is this one clean? Of course it is. Wait, why is he suddenly throwing up? He needs to rinse his mouth. Hurry. Thank you. Finally, he feels better. Honestly, he has no idea what happened, since he was completely fine while drinking, but throwing up the moment he steps outside? It must be the cold wind hitting him. Xiaoxi is practically foaming at the mouth, lecturing him because she told him 1,000,000 times to drink less. Is he trying to worry her to death? But he disagrees. When the bosses are all downing drinks, refusing to join in is basically career suicide. Showing respect is everything in the corporate world. Wait, he have literally a rich heir, so why does he care about this toxic drinking culture? He says family money does not change how society works. These social obligations are completely unavoidable, so she needs to stop nagging. Xiaoxi silently resolves that she needs to make her own money too, rather than just relying on Brother Bai to support her. Even the taxi driver chimes in, asking if her boyfriend just finished a business dinner because he clearly drank way too much tonight. The driver says he picks up guys like this on his night shifts all the time, but she really needs to warn him to slow down. He mentions his own nephew who worked in sales actually ended up with liver cirrhosis from all the heavy drinking, which is honestly no joke. This gets Xiaoxi thinking. Should she call her godfather and ask him to warn the branch manager? What if Brother Bai ruins his liver too? She is genuinely terrified of that happening, but suddenly his phone buzzes with a late-night text. Who could it be? It is actually Xiaoxi. She messaged him saying Xiaobai had a brutal night of drinking for work and asked if he could pull some strings with the boss. Her main goal is to stop them from dragging Xiaobai to these drinking events, and honestly, her sweet protective energy is absolutely wholesome. So basically, the dad thinks drinking with clients is just part of building a career. But the mom immediately shuts him down, saying she completely agrees with Shen Xiaoxi's warning. Seriously, why is drinking always required for business? She demands he call Wang Jianguo to warn the branch boss. He needs to stop dragging Bai to these dinners. The dad sighs. They aren't even married yet. Surprisingly, Shen Xiaoxi is already doting on him like a devoted wife. Talk about major green flag energy. She is definitely the perfect daughter-in-law. The mom tells Shen Xiaoxi to take care of Bai tonight. The wedding ceremony is complete! Lift the veil, Bai. You will never escape my grasp. He wakes up sweating. What a wild dream. But then Shen Xiaoxi greets him with a massive grin. Why look at her like he saw a ghost? Wait, he's completely naked. She stripped him because he threw up on his clothes, leaving him totally panicking. Even his underwear? She just nods. Absolute menace behavior. He is completely speechless. How can a girl act so casual about this?
Yet she is like, "Don't worry, I took one for the team. Getting an eye infection was worth it."
He screams that he is the one who got violated, so she playfully offers to let him look back. He demands his clothes immediately, but she just asks to pick him up. But Bai is like, "You're a student. You should actually be on campus making friends, not here." She simply doesn't care about making friends on campus. He sighs that she is hopeless. At this rate, she'll never make it in the real world. Envy consumes him. Girls have it so much easier with less societal pressure. Society is way too forgiving to girls, unlike guys. Next life, he is definitely reincarnating as a woman. She asks what he would do first if he became a girl. His answer? Become a minor. How could a girl be a minor? He laughs it off. A quick search leads her straight to a video titled, "After I Stopped Being a Dominant Top."
So that is what minor means. Meanwhile, Bai arrives at work and the boss suddenly offers him a car.
Wait, what? Bai is completely shocked. He has barely been at the company for a month.
He feels unworthy and tries to decline, but the boss insists since Bai secured that massive NetEase contract. A car is basically pocket change to this company. Besides, the boss apologizes for dragging such a young guy to a heavy drinking session last night. He promises to never force Bai to drink again and vows to shield him from all corporate politics. Bai gratefully accepts, promising to work his absolute hardest. The boss sends him off with a smile. In his mind, the boss is sweating. Why didn't this kid mention his insane connections earlier? Later, an editor rushes in with major bad news. She suddenly wants to renegotiate her contract or terminate it, meaning a rival company is poaching her. Bai has never heard of her, but the editor explains she is a massive deal in new media.
She dominates their sales charts across all genres.
Her physical books are also their second bestsellers, only behind the legendary and highly mysterious author, Scalpel.
Scalpel only does physical publishing and never writes web novels. Bai immediately tells them to contact Shi-chan.
He wants to schedule an in-person meeting with her to discuss terms. The editor happily agrees. Talk about a major move.
Everything is going great. Later, Shen Xiaoxi calls Bai after work to see if he fell asleep.
He mutters that he got too tired from mining. She is shocked. Wait, did he actually go mine?